Hi everyone, welcome back. This is a video response for Nail Polish Anonymous, or as most people refer to as NPA. She made a video asking about some stamps, and I have some of the stamps that she questioned, and I'm just going to try and stamp them out to see if they are. I wrote a comment and said I think it's application or ink, and we're going to check that out. She put particular about Artsy stamp, and I have this one, and she said these were kind of splotchy that she purchased. I believe Hampton Arts took over Artsy stamps. I'm not sure. I don't want to be wrong and say that. But she also showed this little penguin, and he kind of was splotchy as well. So what I'm going to do, and then I have some Hampton Art stamps. So what I'm going to do is just stamp out these three different stamps, I think, because she showed this deer. But my deer, well, it's the same deer, I'm sure. It has little stars in it, so it's supposed to be splotchy, but she did have this one. And she showed that her ink was pooling up, and I do believe, I've had stamps that did that before, but I believe it's, you just need to stamp it out a few times, as well as the ink. I think the ink is the biggest issue. So what I'm going to be using is this Rangel Archival ink, which I don't really care for that much, so we'll see how that works. Memento, which is kind of my friend, and we're going to use my Old Faithful Martha Stewart. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to talk about the inks as well. I'm going to be using my cardstock, white plain cardstock from Walmart. It's the 110 Georgia Pacific, and I am going to use my Tim Holtz stamp platform. Okay, so the first thing I want to note is that if you notice the stamp, first of all, let me just say something. I am by no means a stamping guru or expert. I collect a lot of stamps and I like to stamp, but as you all know, I struggle with stamps myself. But I just want to show that this is more like a sponge. This is more like a sponge ink. Memento is kind of like a flat platform. It reminds me of a school eraser. And then this one I purchased from Walmart. The Martha Stewart I got from Tuesday Morning, and this Archival I got from Tuesday Morning. I don't like this one at all, but I saw someone on the video talking about how it was awesome. And again, this one is kind of like a pad as well. I really don't care for that one that much, but I figured to be fair to the stamps themselves, we could try various inks. And I am going to be putting my platform on clear stamp, the clear side. So let me just, it's already there. I'm just going to take this off and move this around. I want to make sure that everyone can see, because I hope that I get some good clean images and it was just application and ink versus the stamp being sucky, because I really like those stamps, and it would suck that if they were really jacked up like that. So now I just moved the stamps out of my view and I lost them. So we're gonna stamp out this first one, and she said she got them on clearance, so maybe you can stop at Michael's and grab some. I got mine last year, not on clearance. I also got some in a D-stash, which was great. And Mom to Create sent me some Christmas stamps. I'm just pulling this open. I've never used this stamp set, which is great. It's good for me to be able to use and help out a fellow crafter as well as a YouTuber. And I'm going to pull off this Christmas tree. It's sticky, that's for sure. It's stuck on that paper very well. And here we go. And let me get this deer. And she showed how the deer was splotchy. So what I'm going to do first, after I rip the things off, is put those on there. I don't think I need to stamp out all of them, but we will see. You know, I told you all last year when I got some stamps from Michael's that one of my stamps was missing out the package. I don't know if people go in and steal them or they send them like that. But I also am going to, I'm going to try to load up this paper as best as possible. And so now I'm going to pull out this little penguin, because she did show this penguin and she wasn't too satisfied with him, but she said that he was okay. So I'm just going to use him as well. I haven't used this penguin either, and I'm hoping that they will work, because I need to do my Christmas in, no, not my Christmas in July, my curating for Christmas. And I had wanted to use some stuff, so now that I have my things out, I can just go ahead and do that once I finish. So this top row is the Artsy, and then the next row is a Stampendous, and the bottom row we're going to use is the Hampton Arts. But I could have sworn that Hampton Arts was a for Artsy. I thought they were, but I guess I'm wrong. I could be wrong. My packaging is old, and I'm just putting these Halloween stamps down. And I need to move my magnet out of the way. And so here we are. You know what I tend to do whenever I do this? I usually put the stamps backwards. So I'll put the grooves upside down. Yep, I'm a weirdo. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, and as you all know, I don't have a lot of room on my desk, because I just don't, right? I clean it, I make a mess, I clean, I make a mess. And first we're going to start off with Martha Stewart Kohl ink, and I am just going to apply it down. I did do a little bit of rearranging on the stamps, only because when I kept laying it down flat and picking it up, it was pulling the paper up. So these magnets, you know, they weren't holding the paper down that well. I do think that for some clear stamps, just my opinion, some clear stamps you have to use them a little bit before they'll do what they need to do. Unlike the rubber stamps, I think the red rubber stamps, in my opinion, again, just work out a lot better than the clear ones. But I think clear is a lot cheaper than rubber, and maybe that's why some companies go with clear acrylic versus red rubber. Okay, and now so we're going to apply this down, and what I do is I just press it down. I didn't notice any pooling of the ink, and I'm just rubbing it down. I did not apply a lot of ink right here on the Dears Dairy Air, so it may be a little bit splotchy, but because we do have a stamping tool, you know, you can always reapply more ink without a problem. And as I stated, I didn't apply a lot. Like this sweater didn't get much of anything on there, so let's go ahead and reapply. Now the Hampton Arts came out perfect, and I think I rubbed them down a little bit more than the other ones. And also it's not very crisp, and I think that was just application on my part, not the stamps part. But since we are trying to see what's going on, I think I may even change and move these to just acrylic, to the acrylic block, and stamp one by one just to see if it really is the stamp or the application or the ink. So I did reapply, and I did on one of my stamps that was expensive, the Julie Nutting, one of the Julie Nutting dolls, or a Prima collection. I had to apply a lot of ink on there. So now I'm just rubbing it down. I know Mr. Holtz doesn't like the CPR stamper. I'm more of a rubber stamper. Get it? Never mind. Anyway, let's see now. Excuse the camera shaking. And so what I am going to do, I am going to take the Artsy, which is at the top, but I think this the Christmas tree one is fine, honestly. Now this deer we may have to work on, but what I'm going to do is just take, I have a block right here. I'm going to take the tree first, and this paper is no longer any good. I'm just going to try and stamp it out, and my fingers have a little bit of ink on there. So let's put this to the side, and try it out. And so now I have this on, and I am still going to apply. I'm still using the Martha Stewart Kohl ink. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stamp out Martha Stewart, Memento, and the Archival, and then we'll be able to judge the stamp from there. And so here we go. I don't have any foam underneath, so it may not stamp out properly, but I'll apply pressure to it. And there we go. I think it stamped out great. And if you notice right around Christmas, that is how it is. That's how the stamp is itself. You can't see jack like that, can you? Let me pull out the actual paper. So if you notice, Christmas looks like that, kind of crooked looking. So I really don't think we need to stamp out any more. So even like the piece and the star, it looks like that. You can see the star is kind of off. All of these that look off are off from the manufacturer, not the actual stamp itself. So now I'm going to switch this Christmas tree out because I think it stamped out great. So that's with the Martha Stewart Kohl ink. And now I have the deer on there. And I really got this stamp set last year for the deer. Which is cool. I saw a stamp set that I really liked that was too expensive, and I got this Artsy because it was on sale. You know, I didn't get it clearance. I got it with a sale and a coupon last year. And so now I've over applied ink, but that's okay. That's what we have: tissue and towels and things to clean off our stamps as needed. And now I'm going to apply this deer down with the Martha Stewart Kohl ink. I'm just applying some pressure, making sure I get it all around, and this is how it looks. And again, I think it came out really nice, and this is how it looks on the stamp as well. How it's supposed to stamp out. I would say that the first time I applied ink, I did not apply a lot of ink. And so now I'm going to wipe the stamp off, and I'm going to use the Memento ink. Okay, so I haven't applied much of anything. I just cleaned it off, and now I'm going to use the Memento ink on here. And if this stamps out, then I would say you just have to apply more ink for it to work better. Let's see. And I'm again just applying a lot of pressure. I asked the people that subscribe to me, the ladies, and they said you need to bring the stamp to the ink. So that's what I'm doing, bringing the stamp to the ink. Let me wipe this off a little because I don't like the ink to be on the blocks itself. And now I'm going to apply some pressure and see how it comes out. Alright, I dropped. And this one with the Memento ink stamps out even better, in my opinion, than the Martha Stewart Kohl ink. So that's Martha Stewart Kohl ink, and this is Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to wipe this off again, and I am going to do it with the Archival ink. So I would say it's probably the application and ink. And if it doesn't work, you need to, in my opinion, you could take it back so they can refund you your money or fix it. But I know you said you'd like some of the stuff for the dyes. So that's totally, you know, up to you. It's your money, your time. I don't always take stuff back either. And now I'm using this one, which is my least favorite ink that I've used. I'm not sure why it's my least favorite ink. It's probably because of application. I had used something and I didn't apply the ink properly, and I got upset with the ink itself and not the operator. And so here we are, and this is the Archival ink by Ranger. And the thing about archival ink is that it stains your stamps. I think that's probably another reason why I don't like it. So I'm applying some pressure, and here we go. And this one, even though I don't like Memento, archival ink, it came out beautiful as well. So I would say it's probably application, more so than the stamp. But I'm going to try that penguin again, try the penguin out. So I'm plopping him off. Let me get the penguin. All right, and this time, since I have the archival on top, I'm going to try the archival ink first. And I'm going to try to find a spot to put this little guy in. He's pretty big. It's a big penguin. Now, I will say that the Hampton Arts stamped out beautifully the first time just using plain old Martha Stewart ink when I had the stamping tool. And here we go. I'm just applying some pressure. And it stamps out. It stamps out really nicely. I will do the Memento as well, just so it's even Stevens. You know, y'all remember that TV show? Never mind. I keep dating myself. I don't know why I do that. But hey, what the heck, right? All right. I probably should have did a live stream for this one. And I do see the pooling right there. You can barely see it, but it is pooling. But we are going to go on and try it anyway. I have had pooling on some stamps that I got from online, overseas. But those stamps were also greasy. So, yep. He's a little bit smudged, and it's probably my fault too. But overall, I think that the stamps stamp out fine. With the Martha Stewart, the lines were a lot more cleaner, but I applied a lot of pressure on here to get those down. But for the Artsy stamp that you discussed, it stamps out fine. I do believe it's just the application. You may have to slather some more ink on there. And then again, this was the Martha Stewart. This is the Memento. And then this is the archival ink. So this is the Martha Stewart one. And this is Martha Stewart Coal. This is Memento Tuxedo Black. And this is the one I complained about a couple of weeks or months ago. And then this one is the archival ink Jet Black. And I will tell you that they're not all black. You can tell by the deepness or richness, but it stamps out great. And we do have the same exact stamp set in this one. And it's Artsy. So I hope this helps you. Let me know if you need something else.